Well, hello. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the intro. And it's true, I'm all the way from New York about 10 years ago via Peaks Island. So my name is Vega, and I was a winter renter out here on the island and just signed my first year-long lease out here. So I know, huge. You guys are now stuck with me 365 days a year and not get a break during the summer. So thrilled to be here, but I did notice that there are some things that are a little bit different about Peaks Island than New York City. Number one is everybody waves at you on the street. This is what I was taught when I was a little girl. My dad, he grabbed me and he said, "Olivia, when you're walking down the street," he goes, "don't make eye contact with anybody." And he said, if they bump into you, you push them and you say, "Get out of my way." So I never did that because I'm very kind and passive. But here on the island, I wave at everybody. Even golf cart rentals that go by me, I say hello to, not just year-round, everybody. That was one. Two, in New York, you don't really see your neighbors. Here on Peaks Island, your neighbors know where you live before you even get to the house. It's true. In New York, one of my best friends lived on the same block as Macaulay Culkin. I don't know if you guys know him. He might be too long ago for some of you, but he's the Home Alone kid, the one that went, "Ah!" in all the movies that he did. He lived on the same block. She saw him maybe once a year. My second night, if you can picture it, I'm so excited to live in this romantic, beautiful place. And my fiance, Jason, who has been out here for years prior to me, so he knew more people on the island, runs into a friend of his. And so we're chatting, and I say, "Hey, why don't you come over for a glass of wine?" And she looked at me and she said, "Okay, I'll meet you there." And so I knew, okay, I better pay attention to what's going on here. So another thing that I notice about Peaks Island is that we don't lock our doors. This would never happen to you in New York City. And I can tell you from personal experience from my dad, again, before I was born, they lived in this tiny little Lower East Side before the Lower East Side was super cool and it was kind of just grungy at the time. But they lived in this apartment, and my dad worked nights and was home and slept during the day, and my mom worked during the day. And so my dad was home, and all of a sudden he heard this clamor in the kitchen. And so he sleepily gets up. It was a super hot day, so he was just in his boxers. And he goes into the kitchen, and there's this 350-pound burglar literally coming in through the fire escape towards my dad. And my dad looks at him and goes, "What are you doing here?" And the burglar looks at my dad and goes, "What are you doing here?" And so I knew firsthand that it's probably a really good idea to lock your doors. But, I love the community, the sense of the island community here, and the love and support we all have. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to try an open door policy here on the island. So I told everyone that came by, stop by anytime. I had no idea that people would actually stop by at any time. So, we'll see about that. But it really made me realize, being a somewhat reformed New Yorker, how lucky I am. And this is definitely G-rated, but I had this, epiphany in the shower one morning where, again, being the New Yorker, and any woman who's seen Psycho is deathly afraid if they're alone in their house, taking a shower. So we're always at the, ready with our razor or whatever we have that we can fight back with. But I was taking a shower, and I heard the door open, and I heard somebody leave something. And for the first time in my life, I was not afraid. I thought, wow, I know it's somebody safe and that I'm protected on this island and loved. And so that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. But now, as I look around the room, I think I'm going to start locking my doors. Thank you so much. Have a great night.